Hey everybody, welcome back to Check the Gate, a Film Lovers Deep Dive. I'm Bert, and as always, I'm joined here with Brandon.
Hello.
And Michael.
Hello.
And today we're doing our second film in our James Bond series, the 1969 film On Her Majesty's Secret Service, about British agent James Bond goes undercover to pursue the villainous Ernst Stavro Blofeld, who is planning to hold the world ransom. Michael, I'll get to you last because I know you haven't seen it. I just want to... I really like this movie a lot. This past viewing, I really felt the length of it. To the point where I was like, Goldfinger, it was like, what, just under 2 hours? It's like, no biggie. We go into this, 2.5 hours, and 45 minutes of it didn't need to be there. And I was just like, damn. It kind of felt like a slog this time, but I still enjoyed the ride. It still made me excited to now we're kicking, next will be the Roger Moore era, and it's just going to be a lot of fun going forward. Brandon, what's your history with this movie? And I know you've seen it, but is it one that's in the queue a lot, or,
No, definitely not. Yes, I have seen this movie. I think this was probably my third time, but it had been a long time since I've watched it. So I've always enjoyed the movie. I think I think poor George gets a bad rap, but I feel like he was let down by the whole production.
Really? I feel, if I'm being honest, I feel like it's the other way around. I feel like because he had absolutely zero acting.
I don't think he was that bad.
Why does he get a bad rap, though? From other things? Or
I think people just say he did one, therefore he wasn't asked back, and he was bad.
He was
that's
bad
not
because
why
he
only
was
did
his
one.
only one. Most of the other actors got like 3, 4, 5.
People will feel the same way about Timothy Dalton. Because he only did 2, so they go, he only did 2, so they must have shit-canned him because those movies weren't good. And I would argue the Dalton movies are good. I think this is a good movie. Obviously, with both those actors, we'll get into the reason why they only did 1 and 2. But I do think that people just do the easy math of he only did 1, and then they immediately went back to Sean Connery after this. So I'm assuming this is a bad movie, and they fucked up, and they're trying to right or wrong.
But the story's great. I love the story. I think we touched on it, but the Blofeld character, I love. He's, to me, one of the most realistic villains throughout.
This specific Blofeld, or just Blofeld in general?
Blofeld in general.
Gotcha.
Just his background, I don't think it's far off from the evils of today. I just think the story's great. Just the cheesy cutscenes, the sets were trash. There's one point where I saw the floor ripple. The editing is a little shoddy. Oh, God, the editing was making me sick.
But that speed ramping?
No. Choppy. It was way too choppy. That's why I'm saying, I think the production of the movie let it down. But I think overall it's decent, average.
No. Michael, you chose this movie.
Oh my God, it's my fan favorite. I actually really enjoyed this one.
Good.
I liked it a lot better than last week. I felt like
Really?
I felt like it was put together. All the little seams were put together a lot better than last week. But with the speed thing, I noticed the cars on the first thing, it's and then it goes up.
The tires are screeching on sand.
On sand, exactly. So the little continuity stuff there is funny, but yeah, I felt like the story was believable-ish for a more or less fantasy kind of 007 world, but it flowed pretty well. It was a little bit long, minus the 10-minute opening credit scene, but I mean whatever. But the gadgets were cool. I liked
what. Now let me ask you a question. What gadgets? This is a movie with no Q gadgets. It's one of the very few. I think only Thunderball. Even because Q shows up in the field in Thunderball and gives him a rebreather. But like this is like one where there's not like a pay attention 007.
No, I know it's like the nested ones, like the ski pole gun, and then the little mini safe cracking device while he's sitting there reading a Playboy. You know,
I did write that in my notes. Safe cracker gadget ?
I know. I had to like double take. I was like, oh, interesting. I was like, oh wait, what are you reading there, bud? But different time.
Yeah, then you get a shot of the full centerfold too at one point.
Yeah,
like, right when he's in the hallway, you're like, whoa!
You see full nip.
Yeah.
To the point where my wife and I were like, "What issue is that?" And so like we're like, "Oh, it's February 1969 Playboy," because my wife thought the centerfold was somebody, and I was like, "Well, let's look it up." Turns out it wasn't the person who she thought it was, but we did figure it out. Nice. I didn't write the name down, but because it wasn't anybody I recognized. But like we found the actual cover. Like, they sell it on Amazon, and it tells you what's all in there. I was like, he's just reading the articles. And he's like, my wife's like, he just flipped the entire centerfold out. Yeah. I was like...
but yeah, overall, I think that I do like stylistically, it appealed to me a little bit more. It felt like some of the little, like, background tracks and stuff that kind of fit more in with the vibe that was going on, like the background music. In some of the like the bobsled scene, like you know that it's definitely a green screen, especially with the green screen and stuff in that time. But they do the cuts where it kind of like it looks more actiony, but I feel like it did the actiony part minus tires screeching on the sand and shit like that. But overall, I liked it better than last week.
They're definitely ramping up where Goldfinger is your third movie. Now they're getting more famous. The movies are getting more famous. There's more of a budget going into it.
More explosives. More
I also
car
feel
crashes.
I also feel like since this is the first one without the original actor, I think they're like in fuck it mode. So they're like changing
shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think that's why the speed ramping is like really ramped up in this.
Yeah.
Bond is more of like a brawler in this. Those wild arm swinging punches.
Yeah, the one trick pony, dude. He just did that arm flip over and over again.
Yeah. They're like going into obviously it's James Bond, but like they're going into the Draco construction office, and then all of a sudden he just takes out three guys. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah.
And then that really funny shot of him entering the office and looking down the barrel of the camera with the knife over his head.
Yeah.
in squat mode. So I feel like they really are just. But at the same time, I also read that this is a lot of these Bond movies. They take their titles from James Bond novels, and there are things they take from the books, but for the most part, it's just in name alone. This is considered one of the most book accurate movies, with like some minor changes as far as like Irma Bunt and Blofeld stuff. But the ending is the same. The great iconic ending. I think that this movie, it's probably more famous for its iconic ending. Also, setting up it truly, like Diamonds Are Forever is truly a like legit sequel to this film, where the actions of this movie, now Bond is on a complete, revenge run where he's looking for Blofeld to kill him for killing his wife Tracy. And the part of me wishes either one of two things. Either they would have figured out the Sean Connery issue, come to an agreement on, because he wanted like $1.2 million to come back. Either have Connery in this movie to set up Diamonds Are Forever, or I would wonder how George Lazenby would do in Diamonds Are Forever, in that full revenge story. Even though we're bringing Connery back full toupee, Sean Connery.
That's a good question.
I thought overall I obviously I've only revisited two of them now, but like I thought Lazenby did a good job with it. Obviously, there's some little parts with the creepy staring into the camera, but I thought he did a good job for it.
There are some moments where I really feel like you can tell he's not an actor, especially in the ending when he's like his wife is dead in his arms and he's just like very wooden. It sounds like he's reading his lines.
Oh,
she's just sleeping. It'll all be okay. We have all the time in the world.
Crying. Oops.
Well, I actually read that Lazenby did break out into tears, and the director Peter Hunt called cut and said Bond doesn't cry. They wiped his tears and they took another take where he... By the way, Lazenby, 29 years old in this movie, and he looks not a day over 45.
Bro's got a nice old robust, like, the button chins, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Spartacus chin dimp. Yeah. Let's dive into this movie, shall we?
Let's do it.
Like I said, this is a 1969 film. The top 3 films, 1969. Number 3, Midnight Cowboy. Film we did on the AFI pod.
Ooh, damn.
The Love Bug at number 2. And number 1, another film we did. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Good movie.
Or as Michael called it, Sundance Cassidy and the Butch Kid.
Yeah.
A ticket cost in 1969 $1.42, which is equivalent to $12.38 our money. Budget for the film, $7 million, which is equivalent to $61 million. And the box office was $82 million, which is equivalent to $715 million our money.
God damn.
And this film was nominated for 0 Academy Awards. I don't think we'll see another nominated one until the Craig era, if I'm being honest. Let's talk about the cold open a little bit. Obviously, they're really trying something different. We're going out of our way not to show Bond's face because it's supposed to be a big reveal that it's a different person. You know, we get like a weird random Q scene talking with M, just being like, oh, the best way to track somebody is put some radioactive lint in their pocket, and then we can just... that's our Q gadget, I guess, in this movie is radioactive lint.
Well, I had like when I started like watching it, and I thought he was talking about like how to shrink somebody with this stuff, and I was like, what? But then I redid it, and I was like, okay, never mind.
Radioactive lint, sir.
How to track somebody? You make them smaller, you know.
We get that scene. It's like, oh, we just need to find 007 because we got to put this radioactive lint on him because we don't know where the fuck he's at. Speaking of which, Moneypenny, do you know where he is? No idea. Cut to him in an Aston Martin, not a DB5, but the next model, the DBS. Not quite souped up like the old one was, but he's a very familiar scene. We kind of saw this exact scene in Goldfinger, where he's driving down a windy hill road alongside the ocean. Pretty girl in a convertible is right behind him, honking at him. He lets her pass. He sees a cute girl, decides to follow suit. She pulls off at the top of a ledge, walks down to the beach, and he busts out like a sniper rifle scope. And it's really shoddy too, because like he's looking through, and we get like the POV, but like also the edges of the screen. Like you can see the scope circle, but it's clearly just they have a camera and they superimpose the scope on it, because like even the outside is like super zoomed in. We see her walk into the ocean, take her shoes off, walk into the ocean. He goes again, still have yet to see his face, goes running down, saves her. It makes it look like she's trying to kill herself.
That's what I got too.
It's literally never brought up again.
Nah, it's she was just going for a little dip.
But then she
no,
faints
you'll turn into a mermaid.
The water was so cold she fainted.
Oh. She passes out in his arms, lays her down, wakes up, and he's like, "Good morning. My name's Bond. James Bond."
I did like though when he was scoping her that he did take in account for the drop in elevation on his scope. So
Yeah,
that was cool. That was accurate.
Well, I mean, he's a naval officer, Brandon. Best of the best.
I'm really happy he did it.
He schools everybody and everything. He knows everything about everything, even butterflies.
That's true. Who knew?
Fucking nerd.
And genealogy.
Wait. James
Family
Bond can't cry,
crests.
but he knows everything about butterflies. All right, that's the next best thing, I guess.
For Queen and Country, Michael. Okay?
There's a reason why George was not asked back.
They're like, this guy's really into butterflies.
I want to cry and study butterflies.
Don't watch View to a Kill. George Lazenby. There's an entire dancing butterfly scene in that movie. He's gonna be like, "Oh man, that could have been me. It's beautiful. Could have been me." Damn it. By the way, Lazenby signed a 7-picture deal. So the only actor to make 7 films was Roger Moore. So that would be like him doing Diamonds Are Forever, and then almost the entire Roger Moore run is 7 films.
Wow.
5 of the 7 plus Diamonds Are Forever.
Is he still alive?
He is still alive, yes. We've only lost 2. Yes, he's still alive.
No, isn't he deceased?
Bet you $20 he's still alive.
No, he's still alive.
Yeah. You owe me $20. There's actually a really great documentary just about him. It's called Becoming Bond, and it's just about essentially the rise and fall of the Lazenby Bond era.
Hey, right here.
Yeah. Back to the beach. She passes out. Suddenly there's like other goons, wearing like sailor, like the horizontal black and white thin striped. Get up, they're clearly dubbed. Their mouths aren't moving and you hear, get up. Guys got guns. We get a pretty nice brawl. It almost goes back to like not showing anybody's faces again, because we are trying to do that, like, I would say for the time, rather grungy filmmaking where the camera's like, not staying still. You're just getting like
stable cam,
wild punches that are almost uppercuts. The windmill punches that George Lazenby does in this movie in the water. So we're splashing about.
It reminded me of the old Batmans. Just like every time I punch, I'd be
Bam!
like, pow, bam, quah.
But also, why'd they make him get in the boat that was clearly not near the ocean at all?
Makes him lay down, pulls but then he like disarms him so quickly, like just kicks the gun in the air, like strangles a guy with like that. It's like some like 4-pronged hook that I don't know what you're really using for.
Gadget?
Gadget. He dispatches the men. The girl comes to, steals Bond's car, drives away, goes up to the hill, gets out of his car. She's not no grand theft. Gets in her own car and drives away. And that's when Lazenby breaks the fourth wall and says, "This never happened to the other fellow."
Ha 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 ha.
And that's our cold open. How are you feeling about this cold open? Oh, yep, diarrhea noise. It's better than Duck on Head Goldfinger?
No, I gave it a 3.
A 3?
Yes, damn. Out of 10.
I just gave it a 5.
Yeah, honestly, it's just kind of like a soft 5 for me too.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it doesn't bode well for the movie we're about to watch, especially since we get into the title sequence, which is like an insanely like generic title sequence.
I gave the title sequence worse score than I gave the cold open. So that says.
I think it has to be. My biggest question is, we're in the Lazenby era. We're expecting to make 7 movies with this guy. The second line of the movie he says is, Sean Connery never had to go through any of this.
Right.
Cut to a title sequence that's just playing greatest hits of the Connery era. Like, hey, remember Pussy Galore from Goldfinger? Remember Goldfinger?
Yeah, we don't have her.
Oh, here's Dr. No. Dr. No, isn't that cool? Oh, Honey Rider, the first Bond girl. Oh,
it's like this one's different.
Yeah, there's Blofeld from You Only Live Twice. That's cool, huh? Get excited. And then, like, the music, it's I don't know why they made the choice to not have the Bond song in the title sequence.
Right.
Granted, I don't think that title sequence would fit with the actual Bond song that Louis Armstrong does do. That's considered like the greatest Bond love theme. It even plays at the end of No Time to Die.
Well, and it's 1969. Like we're right before the hippie 70s, the psychedelic 70s. Like you could have just totally hit a home run with this, like just done something super creative, but it just felt lazy.
Yeah.
Like we don't really have an idea, so we're just going to cut, copy, paste.
Yeah, it almost felt like, well, we're doing this because all the other ones are doing this. So it really did just feel like it's like this. this movie is like weirdly like such an outlier. Where like I said before, they're like in fuck it mode, but then they're also in like quasi we'll kick that can down the road and we'll, oh fuck, title sequence. I don't know, just show like clips from like old movies.
Right.
They like the other ones. Catch their attention, they'll get hooked from this one. I don't know.
Yeah. So, very middling title sequence. No, honestly, it's probably at the bottom for any title sequence for me. Even when there's a song that I don't like usually the title sequence is just like, it's the appetizer before the actual movie.
I mean, there's plenty of ones that I don't really care for the songs, or the song doesn't make sense, doesn't fit, but the visuals though, like I'm still watching the entire time, right? Like this one I was just like seeing it.
Yeah,
that was cool. Yeah, cool. Lazy production. I'm telling you, the production just really weighed this down.
I don't know. I will say that Albert Broccoli did say that George Lazenby, had he stuck it out, would have been the greatest James Bond. So
I could see how they would improve off of what happened here. I mean, they already had everything going.
Well, while we're here, let's talk about how...
And let's not forget how much pressure was also put on him to come in and fill the roles of the established James Bond, Sean Connery.
Which almost kind of is one of the factors that led to him not wanting to return, because this was an established franchise. The shoes were very big to fill. Also, the press for these movies are insane, because he is a global icon. When you're James Bond, you are that's pretty much your full-time job for as long as you are Bond. See any of Daniel Craig's interviews after a movie has come out, where like those last two, he was just like what was it, like after Skyfall, he was like, I'd rather slit my wrist than make another one, and then he ended up making two more. Just because it is, especially nowadays when they're doing a lot more, it's just more of a physical toll. Plus, you have an insane press cycle you have to do. You're held to very strict dress code and style standards as James Bond, which Lazenby was also. But George Lazenby was an Australian-born male model. That was his job.
Yep.
Considered one of the greatest male models of the 60s. Upon hearing that Sean Connery wouldn't be coming back, decided that he was going to go all in. He bought a suit from Sean Connery's tailor. He got a haircut in the style that Sean Connery had as James Bond, and then confronted Broccoli and Harry Saltzman at their offices and convinced them that he had a shit ton of acting credits, was a great actor, and that he looks the part. He's young. He's 29. Sean Connery was in his late 30s when he started. More longevity with me. Convinces them to do a screen test, and in the screen test, broke another person's nose with a wild punch. And then confessed to the director that he actually had absolutely no acting experience whatsoever. To which the director was like, well, you just fooled like the two greatest producers into getting this job, so I'd say you're an actor. And so he kind of just like made himself there, convinced them to do a screen test, and then broke a dude's nose, showing how physical he was. And they were like, you got the pot, kid.
You got chutzpah.
Moxie.
Moxie.
When we finish the dreadful title sequence, we get back, we pick up, usually a cold open is very separate to the story. Like we talked about with Goldfinger, it's usually the end of a previous mission. Yeah. This, we're picking right up where we left off. Bond is following the gal in the convertible. He sees that her car is parked at a schwanky hotel, which in the book is the Casino Royale. It is a casino that Bond visits very often in the books, and obviously Casino Royale is the first book in the series, which is why the Craig movie is kind of a reboot of the entire series. Follows her to the Casino Royale. He's playing Baccarat. Either of you know how to play Baccarat?
I only know the name of the game. I don't even know how it works.
I only see it in movies.
And I only ever see it in Bond movies. And
True.
It's not and it's they might as well be playing the Cones of Dunshire because I have no idea what's going on. E-bank, sweetie, bank, card, bank.
That'll be 250 or 25,000 francs or whatever it was. 40,000
I love
francs.
the little chips they have that are just like one big card that says 10,000.
Which, by the way, $20,000. I had to do a little bit of each. She loses 20 grand. You know, she sits at the table. She does a party foul. She's like, I want in on this hand. Loses the hand, to which she then says, oh, funny. I don't have any money. I was just, I guess, expecting to win and then not have to worry about this. Degenerate gambler, this gal has to be.
Yeah.
She's got a problem, and that's assuming that somebody's going to stand up and saying, oh, my head was somewhere else. I forget, Bond says, oh, my head was somewhere else. I forgot
That's
that
my partner.
Yeah, we're partnering tonight. Here's $20,000 in chips. I assumed it was pounds. So 20,000 pounds in
It's
1969.
francs.
Oh, is it francs? Well, shit. Let's
Damn
assume.
But let's stick with pounds. Yeah.
Yeah. 20,000 pounds in 1969 would be $420,691.87, which is equivalent to $565,788.50 American. So in one hand, she lost $500,000. And then was like, I don't have it. Bond gets up, follows her, says, you kind of owe me one. She's like, oh, well, you're cute. Maybe you'll be worth my time. Why don't you come up to my room in a little bit? In fact, send up some champagne and some caviar. To which he obliges. He comes in, shows up at her room. She introduces herself as Tracy. So now we have a name to go by. As a Bond girl, where does Tracy fall for you?
6.
She's 6th all time?
Well, I gave her a 6 out of 10.
Oh, you gave her
rating.
a 6 out of 10. Yeah. She's usually considered ranked very high just because she is she's one of the very few strong female leads in this movie, but I think she dips a little lower for me because she's missing for an entire hour and a half of this movie.
True.
And I kind of felt like she made things worse at times.
Yeah, but she is pretty. You definitely tell she's pretty witty and fairly intelligent. But yeah, I do. Yeah, I agree with that part too.
Brandon, I know you watch Game of Thrones.
She does save the day though. But
did you ever watch Game of Thrones, Michael?
No, I never did.
She's the grandma in Game of Thrones, like the badass grandma who ends up, spoiler alert, killing Joffrey. So that's, for Game of Thrones fans, this is a young Diana Rigg. Also was famous on the show The Avengers, as was Honor Blackman, who played Pussy Galore.
Pussy Galore.
Famous 1960s TV show. But which they did make a movie, and Sean Connery was the villain in. It's not a very good movie with Ray Fiennes and Uma Thurman. It was late 90s, early 2000s. Bond enters her room, is looking for her, but wouldn't you know it, guys? There's a thug in there, and he gets jumped, and they absolutely destroy that room in a brawl. Again, more windmill punches.
Yeah. Great fight scene.
Anything that can break in that room gets broken.
Throws him through the whole little white accent wall, dude.
Yeah, and in that fight scene, it's like if you watch the floor, the wooden floor, it ripples like it's a rug.
Well, it probably is. It's probably cushioned for them getting thrown about. But he knocks the guy out. He's like, "I'll just leave you to clean up." Takes a big ass scoop of caviar, and as he's beluga. Goes back to his room, puts his gun down, and we get that great shot of her hand come in, grab the gun, hold it to him. She's holding him. There's really no point. Like, this happens a lot in this movie where he gets a gun on him and he just, like, easily disarms the person. Like, he just, like, karate
breaks the wrist, walks away.
Yeah, break the wrist, walk away. But he doesn't walk away. He gives her a good slap in the face for one measure, too. To which he says, by the way, you owe me $20,000. And she goes, oh, Lannister always pays its debts. To which it's alluded to that they shack up for the night. He wakes up, sees that she's gone, goes to get his gun, but sees the gun is gone, but now there's $20,000 in chips there. He goes, oh, the whole amount. As he's checking out of his hotel, a group of thugs, including the man that he knocked out in the other room, is there, to which they say, hey, we're going on a road trip. You want to be our Stifler? We're, not Stifler, but you know what I'm saying. He gets and holds a knife to him. He's like, hey, why don't we just enjoy the road trip? Put the top up, play some tunes, and get that knife out of my gut. To which they oblige. We're
going to be going like 45 miles an hour, and we're going to put the top up, okay?
Yeah, I was going to say, and they drive for what seems all day.
Yeah.
If we're to assume that he got up, clocked that she was gone, and then goes to check out, they drive until it is dark. So I don't know
long way
where the hell they're going, but it's a day's drive away. They end up at this facility. They escort Bond out. As they're entering him into this back room, we come across a janitor. Did you clock with the janitor's whistling?
Yeah. What was he whistling? I just thought he was
whistling
small.
Couldn't hear it.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, sorry, my thing just says reducing noise.
Yeah.
He was whistling Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Oh.
Goldfinger!
Fair.
That's funny. My microphone muted the whistling. It's like, no, we don't need any of that.
Like, hey, you're yelling.
Yeah, so he's whistling Goldfinger, which is another nod to the Connery. There's even there's a much bigger memory lane scene where it's just like, why are you trying to remind people that Connery exists? You should be putting all your chips on this guy. It's one of those things where it's just like, I wish we would have. You want to put the "this never happened to the other fellow" line in there? Perfect, go for it. But then just let it be. But they keep reminding you. And I think that is what is really feeding the rumors that, not even rumors, just like the theory that James Bond is a code name and not, this isn't the same person in every movie.
Yeah. He's an agent, right?
Yeah. But the memory lane scene makes me feel like, they are the same person.
Even in the cold opening to the pretty girl driving the red car that passes him, like it's the same. You're just tip of the cap to the Sean Connery films, and you're like, well,
yeah.
Give him a shot.
I'm interested to see how many times that happens. Like, are we picking nits with a movie that just has the one, and then all this, we're gonna watch a Roger Moore movie and it's gonna be the same, like driving down the highway and he sees the pretty girl on the. Well,
I think I think that's always in the Bond movies, like the car chase, but down to the red car, like,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah. Well, there was only 3 colors.
Like, remember, then, right? Like she was in higher elevation, scoping, him over him, and now we flip it, and he's scoping her. Like, it's just lazy.
Well, to be fair, in the other movie, she was shooting at
right.
Goldfinger, but it was a miserable shot.
You're a terrible shot.
They're about to take Bond into a room, to which he decides, I'm going to escape. And that's where we get like this quasi fight where, like, Michael, you talked about how he like breaks free,
but the 3-man takedown.
But then the editing is like, so like every time there's a punch, it flashes on a face to another person, like, or somebody getting thrown into like a bunch of filing cabinets. He gets all 3 guys on the ground and he bursts into the office and he's got that knife in his hand, and we get that really weird. It is such a strange shot.
It is, yeah.
It's if you're listening, just look for that. It's so weird. He's got the knife in his head and he looks at it, and it's like a really nice office. There's an elderly gentleman that looks like my grandpa. at the end of a nice hand-carved wooden desk. And he says, "Oh, Mr. Bond, we've been waiting for you." Bond throws the knife and it lands on some...
He like waits an extra delayed second before he throws the knife, and then you don't actually see what he throws. You just see it in the background hit the... So it's like...
Yeah, but you hear... like,
He's like, 14th? It's actually the 13th.
He's like, but I'm very superstitious. It's like those... Oh, man, the one-liners in this movie are like next level bad.
Yeah, pretty cringy. Good one?
I don't... that's not necessarily... So, I never really... like... Through Connery, all the way through Roger Moore, we get a lot of really silly one-liners. They take the time off with Dalton, but then they really bring it back, especially by the end of Brosnan's era.
Oh, yeah. Pierce Brosnan was like the king of the one-liners.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
He tells him, "Hey, my name is Draco of Draco Construction, but you can call me Tracy's father." Tracy's father. And he goes like, "Hey, listen, I brought you here because I need a big favor. I need you to marry my daughter." It's kind of this weird plot point of this movie that honestly probably didn't need to be there, but it's like, I guess, establishing some sort of bond between these two guys. He's like, "And, in fact, if you marry her, I will pay you £1 million. £1 million in 1969 is $21,034,593.31. Adjusted to American dollars, that is $28,289,424.75.
Damn.
That is the dowry to marrying his wife.
That's a hell of an arranged marriage.
Bond is like, well, I mean, like, she cute, but like, I kind of need something right now. I'm trying to figure out where Ernst Stavro Blofeld is. And you have just said that you have the biggest criminal organization in the world, to which, he corrects him. Actually, it's the second, because Spectre is much bigger. But, hey, I'm trying to find Blofeld. You help me out. Suddenly you're number one, my guy. I have a feeling that you know where his whereabouts are. So maybe you help me out and I'll sleep on it on whether I marry your daughter, kind of thing. And he goes, hey, 2 weeks, it's my birthday. My daughter will be there. She always visits for my birthday. Why don't you come down? I don't know, maybe you guys organically fall in love with each other. Maybe you go on a montage of dates doing, I don't know, certain activities. And Bond's like, I'll sleep on it. Maybe. We'll think about it.
Let's put a pin in it.
Yeah. Did I mention she likes skiing?
I too enjoy skiing. Bond visits M, where M removes him from the Blofeld case because it's been 2 years of nothing. I got the damn mayor on the phone. My sciatica's acting up. And now you're out here for 2 years and you can't figure out where this Blofeld character is. You're off the case. Hand in your badge and your gun. Bond storms out. Tells Moneypenny that she needs to type up his resignation from Her Majesty's Secret Service. To which he goes to like his nice little office. He's got a picture of the Queen. And this is where we get like this weird memory lane scene where like he opens up his desk and he pulls out the original Bond girl, Honey Rider. It's her belt and knife. Like he just has that in his desk. And we get the music cue, the Under the Mango Tree, which is playing in the first movie a lot. He then pulls out the watch with the garrote wire, which was Red Grant, like the main henchman villain. That was his watch. And they play From Russia with Love, Sting. And then he pulls out the rebreather from Thunderball. Yeah. So it's just like these like little Easter egg moments where it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah. You don't let the guy have his shining moment. You got to keep reminding him that there's been other movies before him.
And that's where I'm like, well, it's clearly the same guy. The theory of it being a...
No, I know, but just like the sense of like him doing his own Bond, like kind of saga.
I'm just editorializing for the people out there with the
Totally.
This never happened to the other fellow. Like unless all James Bonds have to keep the same desk and the other guy didn't take his keepsakes.
Yeah. He's like, oh man, this guy didn't clean out his desk.
Fucking lazy ass.
Check this out. Ski pole gun.
Moneypenny calls him back into M's office. He wants to see you. He goes in there thinking it's about his resignation. To M says, I request, I accept. Hands him the paper. He leaves. And he goes, the motherfucker just accepted it. Didn't even feel bad about it. And Moneypenny's like, I don't know, maybe read it. He looks and he says, oh, I'm on 2 weeks leave. And then she goes, I figured you didn't really want to, but, I'm here to help, big guy.
Enjoy your vacation.
Yeah. He throws his hat on the classic, throws his hat on the, what would I do without you, Moneypenny? Gives her she makes the comment, she's like, it's not what you would do without me, it's what I want you to do with me. And he's like, when I get back. I always loved their,
the chemistry.
It was just, it's, the more playful work flirting than it actually, it's like the one gal that he would never.
Yeah.
Because he actually respects Moneypenny too much to actually do anything with. And Lois Maxwell, stalwart in Moneypenny. I believe she is all the way up through Roger Moore's. And then they get a new Moneypenny for Timothy Dalton. I think this is the last time we will see this M also. I believe he passes away before Spy Who Loved Me. But Bond has 2 weeks leave, so now he's going to go hang out with Draco. And we cut to Tracy, dressed as Zorro, visiting her father for his birthday. They're at a bullfighting ring, where instead of fighting the bulls, it's just rodeo clowns just allowing the bull to run them over.
Just getting absolutely trucked, dude.
And the fun thing about this being 1969 is that that is actually happening.
Yeah. You know that there's a bad fate for that.
Yeah, did
bull.
you see how quickly they ran and hid behind that pallet wall?
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't come out from behind that thing.
Draco greets his daughter, says, oh, I'd like to introduce you to somebody. His name is Mr. Bond. And she goes, oh, we've actually already met. She talks to her like her sister or something like that. And she was like, I'm pretty sure my dad is up to something. She's kind of quick to the whole thing already. So she tells her dad, whatever you're doing with Bond and me, it's not going to happen. So you might as well just tell him what he needs to know. And we can all move on with our lives. She guilts her father into telling Bond that Blofeld is in Switzerland. So head to Switzerland. Can't figure it out much more than that. Tracy storms off, and Bond actually follows her. To which, he's kind of actually, I do kind of have a thing for you, and I feel like you do too. They go in, switch immediately flips. Now she likes him. They go in and kiss as the actual Bond song begins playing.
Yeah.
Louis Armstrong's All the Time in the World. Where does this one rank for you as far as Bond songs go?
It's pretty good.
I'm still trying to figure out what Bond song is Brandon's favorite. He said we're doing it. So I was like, oh, maybe it's this one.
No.
It's not this one.
Oh, shit. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't like this one.
I think this is a phenomenal... This is one of those where, I love this song separate from the movie, too. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of Bond songs that, can, cross-pollinate and live. Live and Let Die by, Paul McCartney and Wings, and The Spy Who Loved Me are two other ones that, have a life of their own, even outside of the movies. Where this song is considered the Bond love theme. Like I've said, it even plays at the end of No Time to Die. It's just a great, honestly, it's a great ballad. And allegedly, this is the last thing Louis Armstrong recorded before he died. I don't know
really?
how much. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I came across multiple articles that said that allegedly this is the last. The fact that they kept using the word allegedly makes me feel like they were all quoting the same article. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where...
Article inception,
Yeah.
It's an article inside of an article.
Speaking of Inception, this is Christopher Nolan's favorite Bond movie, and even uses the snowy compound part of Inception as an homage to this film. When they're, I believe that's where the actual final seed is planted in Inception. Brandon's never seen Inception, so he's just...
Nope.
Well,
one day, maybe.
Get around to it.
How do you like the song, Michael?
I think you put it well. It's a sick-ass ballad. Makes you want to move your hips, Just want to dance with somebody. Twirl somebody around,
This was in the playlist at my wedding, and it never got played.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That and Wild Wild West.
Didn't get to it.
That's because they had other people yelling, "Play Pony! Play Pony!" Hey, play Pony! Oh, boy. Bond and Tracy go on a dating montage. They're walking in gardens. They're riding horseback. They're shopping through the shops of London. They're making out on the beach. Ending with them in a car making goo-goo eyes at each other while the father is awkwardly sitting in between them. They're dropping Bond off at an office because one of the things that Draco tells him is that he's in Switzerland, but if you go to this business, you'll actually be able to find where Blofeld is. You just got to look for some files. So they drop him off. He says, I keep my martini cold. This shouldn't take but an hour. He goes in, slips into a gentleman's office who's out for lunch. We open that window and we see that Draco Construction is there for the assist. We got that one creepy-looking blonde dude that's always kind of just lingering in the shadows.
Total creeper.
Has the crane bring up a case where we get a gadget, a safe-cracking device. And it's pretty much just, it takes what it alludes to about an hour for it to crack this safe. So I don't know how much of a good gadget it is, but it's just, it gets the job done. But as he's sitting there waiting for it to crack, he pulls out the February 1969 edition of Playboy. He's probably reading the articles, I'm assuming.
Always keeps it handy.
And then, as the hours, they're really trying to make you feel he's running out of time because we have the clock. It strikes, 1 o'clock. So that means the guy's going to come back from lunch soon. So he has to hurry, and he's got to make copies, and we're at the mercy of how fast this copy machine goes. It's definitely the part in every spy movie that we're all clamoring for. It's the hero making copies of the villain's plans.
Yeah.
Luckily, the toner was fine. He packs up the files.
Tray 1 did not run out of paper.
Oh, thank God, because Lord knows where that is even at.
Yeah.
He puts the safecracker back in the crane. The lingering blonde man pulls the crane away, and he slips out while also stealing the man's Playboy. And he's just openly looking at it in the hallway, to which you see the actual naked centerfold. Bond visits with M at M's actual house, and asked to be reinstated because he figured out from these files that Blofeld is posing as a count in Switzerland, but he is requesting a man by the name of Sir Hilary Bray to look at his coat of arms. This is where things start getting a little convoluted here. To figure out if Blofeld is of royal ancestry. That's the whole reasoning to get him on the mountain. The plan itself is even weirder. Bond goes to Hilary Bray and says, listen, this is for national security. I need to take your place. Also, check out my coat of arms. Pretty cool, huh? He looks at it and he says, oh, yeah, your family crest, The World Is Not Enough, which is the name of a future Brosnan film, which is book accurate. That was the Bond family's family motto, is The World Is Not Enough. Hilary Bray allows him to take his spot, and we cut to Bond in Switzerland. Beautiful Switzerland. They're there for real. That facility is a real restaurant turned on Her Majesty's Secret Service Bond Museum up there. It's still called the Piz Gloria. That is a place that you can actually visit, and I would love to go there. But I don't know how much stuff is there, and is it worth,
getting up there.
It also
how long
felt
it takes to get up there.
It felt like a Call of Duty map.
Yeah, true. But in in story mode though. Yeah. You're getting dropped up there and you gotta go and break into some shit and whatever.
I mean, it was a awesome setting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the globetrotting aspect of Bond has always been very appealing to me. It's always like, the beach in The Man with the Golden Gun is like an actual travel destination. Like, that is on my bucket list. I forget the name of the beach, but it's got the famous rock pillars sticking out of the ocean in Thailand. But it's always been, but this place is like literally number 2. It's like, if I could go somewhere where a Bond movie was filmed, it would either be that beach in Thailand or that facility in the top of a mountain in Switzerland. Especially since they've now like I said, redone the whole thing to like, it's like now a George Lazenby museum. You just have to travel to the top of a mountain in Switzerland to get to it.
Do you get to take the gondola ride up there?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's a real ski village at the bottom too. So like they're filming, like it's not on a set. The car stuff is obviously a set, but that is truly the village that they're filming in.
Does it have the rotating floor?
Yeah.
Because that's pretty sick.
That was my son's favorite part. He was like, "Oh, that place is so cool."
So since we're talking about this, I forgot to do the calculation on this, but if anybody wants to like be quick on the trigger, feel free. This was a restaurant. It was an unfinished restaurant at the top of the mountain. It was like, the ski resort. Hey, come up to the Piz Gloria and have, a bite to eat. They to use it as Blofeld's base, the producers had to pay the owners $125,000, whatever money Swiss use. Is that just euro? $125,000 to make it a spinning restaurant. So like they added that as an effect and they left it like that. So it still spins.
Cool.
And they also had to install a helipad, which was another $125,000. Because they had to get all that concrete up there to build.
And they did all of this on a $7 million budget.
Yeah.
They didn't have to pay Sean Connery.
Yeah, it would have been an $8 million budget. Beautiful set pieces out in Switzerland, like I said. Bond meets our henchwoman, Irma Bunt. How are we feeling about Irma Bunt, guys?
She's scary.
Yeah, she give me the heebie-jeebies.
She's kind of for Bond fans, a clone of Rosa Klebb from Russia with Love. She's just more built like a brick shit house than Rosa Klebb was. She's like the what's Miss Trunchbull in Matilda.
Oh yeah. Swinging kids by their pigtails.
Eat the cake.
Yeah, don't quote me on that name though. I'm not sure if that's correct or not.
I think it is.
Is it?
I've never seen Matilda, but you said it and I registered it as Matilda.
Trunchbull? Sounds right, but I don't know if it is.
Irma Bunt takes him up to the top of this mountain, after however long of a car ride and then a helicopter ride up to the top. And Bond is really goofing it. Guns make me not, scared. And
he's jet lagged.
I can't wait to get my feet back on the ground.
Is it the air sickness?
Yes. There's a stiffness coming on. Takes him to this research facility and mentions that this facility is private property. The mountain just below is for, the ski folk. But to get to the next mountain, it's all considered private property because they're using it as a research facility to eradicate allergies. Which kind of plays into the plot that we'll get into in a second. As far as, does this make sense? Bond, like I said, he's really goobing it up. Irma Bunt sends him to his room, lets him know the Count will call on you when he is ready. But until then, dinner's at 7. I'd love it for you to be there at 6 so you can get to know everybody. Also, when the door's closed, you can't get out until we open it because there's no door handle for you. And then he's like, well, that seems odd. And he goes, and she just pretty much says, it's just easier this way. To which I'm like, oh, so I'm a prisoner, is what you're saying.
Unless you have a nail file.
Bond slips into his coziest kilt for dinner and sees that the facility is completely full of beautiful women that were or are allergic to assorted foods. And they are all infatuated with him. Oh, man!
Oh, man.
I like how he walks up the stairs and he's just like, I'm here.
Like I said, the ladies are all infatuated with him. He has a book of different coats of arms. My family's got 6 of them in there. To which all the girls, they want to look at the books. And he goes, oh, I'll let you borrow the book. Irma Bunt's like, I'll look at the book and then I'll hand it off. It's just fair to everybody. Crowd that way. You see the really cool rotating, it's dinner time. Yeah. It was a very fast hour. She said be there at 6 for 7 o'clock dinner. He's obviously fashionably late because dinner is served. He sits down. He makes the comment, I haven't put my order in. She goes, oh, I got you a steak. I hope that's adequate. I'm like, damn, okay.
I'm a vegetarian.
Yeah. And I ain't fucking scared of him.
Throwback.
Yeah. The gals are all eating foods that they used to be allergic to. The lady sitting next to him, the dorky gal, she's like going off about how much she loves chicken. I used to eat chicken. I used to break out like all over the place. You wouldn't believe where. She's clearly super gassed up for Bond. He's hitting on her back. She says, oh, you should stop by and bring that book. My room is number Irma, but no, we don't. It's just, don't worry about that. To which she takes her lipstick and writes her room number on his thigh. I had read in that scene they actually put a warm summer sausage down there for her to grab when. So.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So when she put her hand down there was a warm summer sausage that they had just microwaved.
Wow.
But then apparently she just didn't react at all.
She just
played along.
She just went through it like they call.
Do you have any ketchup?
Bond perks up a bit. Irma asks, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Oh, just a slight stiffness coming on. No doubt from the altitude."
Or the summer sausage.
Bond goes to see the man that we know as Blofeld, because when they arrive, Irma Bunt says, I need to call the Count, let him know that you're here. We get that great shot over the head of him petting his Persian cat. Only time we see the Persian cat in this movie. The iconic image of the bald stroking the cat. I was just like, oh, we're back. Bond is now allowed to see Blofeld, and we're introduced to Telly Savalas, who is now the third person to play Blofeld. I forget the man's name but he played Dent in Dr. No. He would go on to play Blofeld in Thunderball and From Russia with Love, but the old where they don't even see his face, it's just a hand stroking a cat with his back to him, so he's just playing the silhouette and voice. And then the first time we see Blofeld physically is in the movie just prior to this, in You Only Live Twice, and he's played by Donald Pleasance. And that's the classic Dr. Evil, bald...
big old scar.
Scar down his face, yeah. This movie, he does not have a scar. The one thing I don't understand about this movie, and from what I've researched, is that technically on Her Majesty's Secret Service, chronologically, book-wise, is before a lot of these other books. So them talking like they don't know who the other person is, obviously Bond is aware that this is Blofeld, but Blofeld is referring to him as Hilary Bray and is allowing this. They both, in continuity, have seen each other.
Yeah.
If we're to believe that Connery and Lazenby are the same person, that means in the world of this movie, they look the same. They explained that Blofeld underwent surgery. You know, he cut his earlobes off and changed his appearance, so I get that. But the fact that Blofeld is still allowing Bond to come up, and we're doing multiple days of this ruse.
Yeah,
like
it's like a whole party weekend.
It's like I can't let you go home. It's not Christmas yet.
Yeah,
James, you must spend Christmas with us. That whole back and forth, I don't understand. Like, we as an audience know that these men have seen each other.
Yeah, he's been chasing him for 2 years. Like,
yeah, I don't understand that aspect. That's like, and that's even separate from the actual plan. Did you also notice that Telly Savalas has a shrunken finger on his left hand?
Oh no!
When he's like daintily holding his cigarette, and you can see his hand like over. It's like there's all sorts of theories about how it happened because he fought in World War II. People have said that his finger got blown off by a grenade, but his family has said that a rat chewed his finger off when he was a baby.
Jeez,
oh, shit.
So just Google Telly Savalas fingers, and you'll probably see that image. He has like one messed up finger, which is honestly, I love that they keep that in the shot because it's just more of like the Bond villain gimmick kind of thing. Like, they say he cut his earlobes off, but then they also like have like a messed up finger, but we never even address it because it's like an actual thing for the actor. But it's just like a nice little Bond nudge of like, oh, this Bond villain is disformed in some way. Blofeld says that he's cured allergies both chemically and a bit hypnotically. We're operating this as like a health spa kind of. I can only do so much, but sometimes I have to chemically induce a reaction. They continue this ruse of having Blofeld want him to discover whether he's of royal descent or not, and he's like, I'll let you get back to your room so you can get back to work. Bond says, well, I'm going to need more than just a few moments with you. I need to ask multiple questions on top of going through these files, and then you and I need to plan a trip to go back to your ancestral home. Like, a lot of stuff that is really just trying to bloat this movie a bit that we don't really need. That night, Bond sneaks out of his room by figuring out how to open his door. You know, he takes the metal wire out of the ruler, finds the little sweet spot on the door, and he has to use like an eraser and like a chip bag clip.
Yeah, he shocks himself at first.
Finds the sweet spot, gets the door open, sticks it in his little kilt bag, and he sneaks off to room number 8, because that is the number that was written on his upper thigh. He makes it in there, sees that she's waiting for him naked. She's like, oh, I'd love to look at that book. I want to look at your pictures. And he says, oh, you're a picture in and of itself and beautiful by the light of the fire. Mm-hmm. He asks how she got there and what's her name, and she says, we'll figure that out later. And they have sex. But not until she like giggles at his penis when he takes his kilt off. And she goes, it's true! And I was like, what's true?
Big, small, weird looking? What is it? Tell me.
You don't know anything about this man.
He doesn't wear underwear.
It's not like, is that what, maybe that's what she's referring to.
That's a more direct,
It's not even like there's the legend of James Bond, because she doesn't know him as James Bond. He's just a random guy who took his pants off, and she's like looking at his dick. They have sex, and after sex, we see that Blofeld is loading pre-recorded tapes that play in the corresponding rooms as the ceiling above glows in a very 60s psychedelic colors that are hypnotizing this gal. That pretty much just say, when you got here, you hated the taste of chicken. It was bad. It made you break out. But now you love the taste of chicken, and all, yada yada, all this stuff. And she's just like clearly hypnotized. He leaves her room and is just like, ugh, go back to mine, get some sleep. Goes back in his room, and guys, guess what? There's another gal there. And she's got the nail file. She's like, I got in here by using this nail file. He's like, it's good to know. To which she says, I'd love to see that book. and all the pictures, and he says, "You're a picture of yourself, and beautiful by the light of the fire." And guys, he shacks up with her too.
Damn.
That next morning, all the girls are playing curling, while Bond is cheesing it up.
Curling on the roof of the facility, mind you.
It's so slick.
So awesome.
He's cheesing it up. We see the guy, the construction guy that's been leering in the background all this time. He's trying to get up to the mountain. So he's climbing up. He gets discovered pretty much immediately. I don't know what his plan is once he's up there. He clearly looks nothing like anybody else. I don't know what his... As far as plots that kind of go nowhere.
He's just a protester protesting the testing of allergies.
Boo, we need allergies.
But yeah, you're right. Like, what's he going to do once he gets up there? They're all heavily armed. Like, the first 3 guards that he's going to face all shoot at him with a rifle. Like,
yeah, they all hold him at gunpoint, and Blofeld's just like, "You can't be here." Clearly there was a sign that says no trespassing. And he goes, "Oh, I was just climbing a mountain. No, I thought this was America." So Blofeld reminds him that this is in fact not America. This is Switzerland. And tells him, "We're going to take your bag. We'll send it down later, but we're sending you back down the mountain." Turns to Bond, and Bond is trying to get out of there. He's like, "Oh, since we got the cable car working, maybe I'll go into town for a little bit, get some fresh air." To which, if I was Blofeld, I'd say, "Well, luckily you're standing outside. Because there's fresh air out here now."
Can't get more fresher than this.
Yeah, you took all morning off, so you need to get back to work. Bond goes back to that gal's room. Like, at the very end of that curling match, he's like making that late night rendezvous with all the other girls. "I'll see you at 8. I will see you at 9. I'll see you at 10. Goes back to room 8, where he's going into, "Oh, Ruby, are you here?" To which Irma Bunt sits up in bed, and he's like, "Oh, fancy meeting you here." And he gets knocked out. Happens to Bond a lot.
Yeah.
He comes to, and that's where we get Blofeld, now referring to him as 007. And we're going to get this guy monologuing. Now tell me, now we're going to talk about the plot, or I guess the villain's plot. Blofeld tells Bond that he has sent a message to the UN saying that he has created a bioweapon that can create infertility in plants, animals, and even humans, and has been hypnotizing these girls to carry out his mission. And then almost immediately, this plot is never brought up again. There is like no racing clock. That it's almost like they're like, I don't know, what's the motivation? They kind of bring this back-ish in No Time to Die with the nanotech that can tell when it's met the target it's looking for and kill that person. So like, but I don't know if it's a one-to-one connection. But at the same time, like, sure, but then we never really expound on that ever again. Even to the fact where the girls leave, we never see them again, and we're just kind of told at the end, like a one sentence, "Oh yeah, and then we found the girls and we fixed them."
Just wanted to let you know what was going on, and then
well, I have a theory.
Theorize.
We're in the 60s, 70s.
Almost 70s.
MK Ultra was pretty big at the time.
Yeah.
And maybe they just had to shut it down because they couldn't divulge too much secrets of the MK Ultra program that were happening at the same time.
Are you saying that the producers felt the need to take out, or are you just suggesting
the studio,
that the plot is just inspired by?
I think
I
think the plot is very believable, and the brainwashing, hypnotizing thing was very popular at the time, and
that
psychedelic drugs and
that
stuff.
I like, because they're setting up a premise for something for Bond to stop.
You're more frustrated that they just don't expand on it. Like
I would love for there to be follow through where we leave the facility, the girls are out wherever there are, obviously we get that map and he's taking pictures of where these girls are. And I would love for there to be some sort of ticking clock where at this time, this bioweapon is going to be released, but it never happens. Like, it just all gets thwarted. And then even at the end of the movie, like, just because the girls are out of the picture, like, Blofeld is still very much alive.
Oh, yeah.
Irma Bunt is alive. So there's no follow-through on even just, well, we could just start over and get new girls in a new place. Like, they just completely abandon the plan altogether. That's what I'm like. I like when they're doing the setup, I'm like, okay. And then it's just like, and then we never address it again.
Yeah. I feel you there.
Thank you. Blofeld decides, I'm going to put you not in like a prison cell, but I'm going to put you in like the ski lift mechanical room. And before, like, shows the blonde guy hanging from nothing, by the way. If you look at his legs, like, it looks like they superimposed a hanging man there, but there's nothing his feet are attached to. He's just hanging upside down.
Frozen in time.
Like they just CG'd the photo. Yeah.
Pause.
There's another really funny shot where they clearly just flipped the image upside down.
Yeah, was it in the car crash?
Yes.
When the car flips and then it's on like its roof and they just clearly just took that image and rotated it 90 degrees.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They put Bond in the ski lift mechanic room, and then Bond very athletically makes his way out.
It doesn't seem very smart because it seems like he could fuck up a lot of shit in that room, like completely stop those gears, like just take off his left shoe and jam it in those gears and then shit
or his
stopped.
right shoe,
Well, his right shoe has the soul bomb.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
I also wrote down, does this count as a gadget? He tore his pockets out to use his gloves. So
yes, that should, because those are abnormally large pockets.
Only if they're fingerless gloves.
No. There's kind of like a, thrilling moment where he's, trying to climb his way out, but then the ski lift activates, so then he goes backwards and he's heading towards the gears. He has to drop down, swing, grabs onto the ledge, but then is still able to climb out, slide through the little hole, makes his way onto the cable car,
Only to not make his way down, but to go back up.
Then he goes
You're
back
like, what?
to the facility, yes. And we're kind of cross-cutting that action with the girls in the restaurant are being hypnotically put to sleep. Bond is overhearing the hypnotic voiceover, having them open presents, and we see vials, assuming it's the bioweapon. And we hear Blofeld's voice saying, in this compact is a little walkie, not quite a walkie-talkie, but like a radio device. You are to listen to this at 12:30 at night, every night, for my further instructions. When you wake up, you will have no memory of this conversation until you get back home, and then, sleeper cell. You will be activated when the catch, yeah. Bond now dons his blue ski suit, baby. Famous blue ski suit. And he's wearing blue because, one, that's Bond's favorite color. But also, it's so we know who he is when we get the ski chase.
Yeah.
So he doesn't look like everybody else. It's like everyone's wearing orange. Blofeld wears brown, so you know who he is. And then Bond wears blue, so you know who he is.
Bingo.
He escapes the facility on skis, but security and Blofeld also follow suit, chasing him on skis while also wielding machine guns. This is like a very big James Bond trope, especially in the earlier ones. Craig never skied. It would have been great to see the old guy up on the... They even put him in the Alps, baby, and he never skied.
Nope.
Brosnan does ski, but not in the movie that we'll be watching. But he does kite surf, though. So there's that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So get ready for that.
Yeah.
I wrote that we get that pretty silly rear projection screen where, like, the stuntmen look great skiing. You know, going in and out of the trees, going over little bunny hills, all the stuff. And then we just cut to them clearly, you know, miming that they're skiing.
Yeah, in front of a giant green screen.
Yeah. One of Bond's skis breaks in machine gun fire, so he has to invent snowboarding. Maybe
Innovator.
That's exactly.
I don't know when.
That's exactly what my son said too. He's like, "Is this when
What, an innovator?
snowboarding was invented?" It's like, no, he lost a ski.
You should have just said yes. Actually,
Yes,
yeah.
this
James
movie-
Bond invented
George
Write this down.
Lazenby had a great idea. He said, "I've seen people
Two
ski with
skis.
2 skis. How about we up the ante?"
And they said,
And by
"Whoa,
up
bro,
the ante, I mean we take one away.
down the ante."
2 minus 1 is 1. Can we do it?
yes, we can.
Willie Bogner, I believe, is the name of the stuntman who did multiple Bond like skiing stuntman scenes. I even think he is the famous stand-in for Roger Moore in The Spy Who Loved Me, which we will talk about next week. The famous ski scene that happens in that cold open. Like I said, using it as a snowboard, bad guys are going over hills and flying right directly into pine trees. We get that one bad guy being like, "Idiots!" Ghost follows him. Bond, upon he gets knocked on his ass right at the edge of a cliff. Goes, "I have an idea." Takes his ski off. Guy goes over a jump. He smacks him with this ski, and we watch this man free fall. And by man, I mean clearly a dummy.
Yeah, but that was the longest free fall ever. Thump.
Like I was like, he's still screaming.
Oh my gosh! Guess what? We got to do it again.
Yeah, and then he wrestles another guy off the cliff. We don't get to watch that guy fall. It would have been so funny if they just played the exact same image.
Yeah.
Repeat.
I can't remember. I feel like he has a really bad one-liner too.
Yeah.
At that moment too.
What does he say?
Says, "I'm not edging you" or something like that. No, I don't know.
Something.
Straight to the edge.
Have a nice trip. See you next fall.
This never happened to the other fellow. He just says the line again. Bond makes his way down to the ski village. As we see the girls all getting loaded up into buses, Irma Bunt has like that weird wave that she does as the girls are leaving. Bond has a wardrobe change. You know, he's trying to blend in with everybody, but Irma Bunt like clocks him immediately. She's like, "Oh, isn't that fucking James Bond right there?" So he has to make his way through the crowd. We get that real tense scene of him trying to lose everybody. He like runs into a man in like a polar bear mascot outfit. Scares him a little bit. Sneaks over to this ice skating rink. You know, he's hunched over. He's got his collar pulled up, just trying to blend in. And that's when we see a pair of skis pull up in front of him, and the camera pans up. And it's Tracy, guys. She's back. She took an hour and a half off, but she's coming to join the fray.
back.
Sorry, I had to nap and regroup. Okay, I'm here. What I missed? Tell me.
She was like, "Oh,
are you in
fancy
trouble?"
meeting you here." Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I'm in a lot of trouble." She goes, "Okay, let me sneak you to
Thanks to you.
my cherry red convertible. Luckily, the top is up. Yeah, it's a Cougar. Yeah, I couldn't remember the make and model, but yeah, I remember them saying Cougar. They kind of slip away, but we see one guy clocks them again because that's what happens. Like Bond is like obviously looking over his shoulder, and he was like, "Well, they haven't caught up to us yet." He's like, I need to get to a post office so I can call London and let them know that about Blofeld's plan. Perfect. We'll go one town over because apparently this village doesn't have a post office. We're going to this town to get to the post office. He gets to a payphone, which is then we see the bad guy car pull up and unload machine gun fire on him in a glass case of emotions, trying to.
Glass case. Nice.
He sneaks back into the car. And we get another car chase-ish. Luckily, the bad guys can't drive in snow, as they're all over the place. Tracy drives them right into a stock car race that just pretty much turns into a demolition derby.
Love that scene. Reminded me of Cars, the movie Cars.
Oh yeah, Kerchow.
How do I get out? How do I get out?
He just keep turning left. Keep turning left. We get a bunch of stock car racers looking on in horror as like their cars are smashing into each other. Irma Bunt and co. are now on the track too, chasing after them, which I would say just turn around and go the other way and meet them. Doesn't happen. We got cars flipping over all over the place. That's when we get that great shot where they really just reuse an image of a stock car racer like looking over to his right, and as he's miming moving the wheel, his car flips over, and then we cut back to him in the same scene miming his but they, like Brandon said, they just flipped the footage 90 degrees so it looks like he's upside down. Irma Bunt, her car ends up flipping over and bursts into flames immediately. Explodes.
And then they cue the image.
Yeah. She makes it out of the car, but that's kind of a wrap on Irma Bunt for the next 40 minutes. We don't really see her again. Bond and Tracy escape. Now that the car has been stopped, they find a little garage. Luckily, there's no car in there. It's, I guess, more of a stable. But
they're driving in a blizzard.
Yes, in a blizzard. So much so that her windshield wipers aren't working anymore.
They're like frozen.
They pull in. They're going to lay low, and then they're also going to lay low, if you catch my drift.
In the hay. They're going to romp in the hay.
Roll in the hay.
In the freezing cold.
Bond professes his love to Tracy and proposes right there on the spot, to which she agrees excitedly, and they kiss, and then he says, let's save ourselves for our wedding night. You know, it's kind of like a New Year's resolution. She says, okay. He puts her into bed, only to then break the bed for her to fall on top of him and say, well, it's not New Year's yet. So they end up having sex while we get the instrumental of All the Time in the World is playing over the top of that. The next morning, we have Blofeld and his goons break into the shed. The car's there, they're looking for him, but the back door's open, and we see that Bond and Tracy are now skiing, fleeing the place.
Totally stoked about their exit too. They were both like happy and like, nice day of skiing.
It did look like a nice day of skiing.
Shit.
Just keep going. Blofeld and company are now pursuing them on skis. Bond sees like this snowplow excavator that's like digging out snow and blowing it out. He decides to put Tracy's life in danger as they head towards it, and they jump over the little canal that the snowplow is digging out, only for the first henchman to immediately go right in, get sucked into like the chipper, and they just blow blood.
That was a gnarly scene.
Woof.
I loved it. And then that's when we get the great line, he had a lot of guts.
Yeah, another good one.
Unfortunately, an avalanche starts. So now we are literally running from an avalanche. Tracy's freaking the fuck out. Understandably so.
Oh, yeah.
We see stock footage of an avalanche. It really is stock footage, and they just superimpose like the little tiny dots of skiers getting washed away. They were trying to work out, because I guess in that area, the military would every so often, every few years, they would actually create their own avalanches, like put explosions into the cliffs. That way it's kind of a controlled avalanche, so it's not taking out those ski villages. So they were working with the government to film that avalanche. But it turns out that like a week before that was planned, an actual avalanche happened. So they had to use like old stock footage of like PBS avalanche images.
Didn't they also like strap a cameraman to the bottom, like dangling from a helicopter for the ski chase scenes?
There is a guy he's famous for a lot of those shots. There's also a guy who's skiing back. I think it is still Willie. I already forgot the last name.
The stuntman?
Yeah, who's also skiing backwards, holding a camera between his legs for a lot of those ski shots. Bond and Tracy get swept up in the avalanche, and Blofeld just kind of watches on somehow that he was completely safe from the avalanche. He sees Tracy's body and orders his men to take her with them. So they're essentially kidnapping Tracy. Bond comes to and sees her being taken away. And then we cut to him back in London, looking out a window, and like the window is like re-showing the scene of her getting taken away in the snow. So we know that he's internalizing his anger. That is what he's thinking about. Blofeld has sent a message to M saying he's requesting amnesty for his past crimes. And once he gets amnesty, he'll get Tracy back. Bond wants to send the whole gosh darn cavalry into that facility, guns ablazing. And M is pretty much just like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. To which Bond calls his future father-in-law and says, hey, criminal syndicate number 2, want to be number 1?
Yeah. Boy, have I got an opportunity for you.
Yeah, I want a bright lights, big city. You want to make some real green in this town?
Exactly.
Also, they have your daughter. So, like...
I made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
Yeah. So they, like, mount up, very, like, it reminded me of, like, a lot of, like, Vietnam movies where they're, like, flying in, like, those choppers, like, in the sunlight, in the sunset. The only thing missing is, like, CCR playing. I will say the stuff on the radio drags for way too long. Where, like, the facility's like, hey, there's incoming helicopters. What are you doing here? And it's like, oh, we're just Red Cross donating blood. You know, Tracy's overhearing. She recognizes that's her father's voice. So she's like, oh, I'll pretend to be, like, that trope of, like, the damsel in distress pretends to be attracted to the villain to get him distracted so that the heroes can come in. Kind of thing where she's like, oh, tell me more about this plan of you taking over the world. And he goes, oh, I would love to. You could be my countess. The choppers arrive, and we open fire, and the battle begins. It's kind of like a really great siege. This is the part that Christopher Nolan in Inception is playing homage to. We get bodies flying all over the place. We get them, like, Lazenby's, like, sliding across the curling ice, like, like firing.
Head first, but if you notice where the bullets are going, they're going, like... 3 feet in front of him into the ground.
Ting, 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 ting. Tracy is found by her father. He goes to put her in the chopper by punching her in the face, knocking her unconscious. To which he says, spare the rod, spoil the child. I don't know if that applies here. Bond finds the map of where the hypnotized girls are going, and he starts taking photos so that we can go after them, to which Blofeld opens fire, distracting him, while Tracy's dad says he's rigging the place for 10 minutes. That bomb goes off in 30 seconds.
Whoops.
Because immediately after he says 10 minutes, they're on the chopper being like, okay, 10, 9, 8... Bond and Blofeld are running, and they jump out of the facility right when it explodes.
But even the demolition team doesn't seem like they're in big of a hurry either. Like, they're just like...
They have 10 minutes, Brandon. They jump from the facility right as it blows, and then we, like, comedically are rolling down the snow-capped hills. Now we're, like, really trying to wrap up this chase, kind of, because, like, now we're, like, in the last 5-10 minutes of this movie, and it was like, there's one thing about these old Bond movies is that they're really long at the beginning, and then we just wrap them.
Up.
Like when we were doing the AFI list talking about Alfred Hitchcock movies, how it's just like, and it's done. We get this, like, I say it's a fun bobsled chase, but it's just kind of messy editing as far as, you know, you can only do so much because we got 2 guys having to control a bobsled. Obviously, there's real stuntmen driving a bobsled.
And then Telly, the fight Savalas, scene on top of the bobsled, and you're moving high speed. Yeah,
scraping heads against the wall and shit.
Yeah, he pulls that grenade out. he comically drops it at his feet. So you're like, oh, is he going to blow himself up? No, he picks it up, throws it behind him. You know, Lazenby jumps out of his bobsled at just the right time. It blows up his bobsled. But then he rolls down a hill and somehow ends up in front of Blofeld and then jumps on his bobsled. So that they're fighting back and forth. And then Bond lifts Blofeld up and a tree branch comes and whacks him.
Yeah.
A la Speed. We see his neck get caught.
Not done by a stunt double, though.
No, they had to. Well, they did it.
He did that scene himself.
They filmed that with a stunt double, but it looked bad, so they filmed that on a set. So like, it's not like he swung, but he lifted and like cricked his neck. Can you imagine though,
really doing that? Like, all right, I gotta stick my neck right here, full speed into a branch.
We see his legs just laying there lifelessly, you know, hanging off, and that's when Lazenby goes, "Oh, he's branched off."
Got him.
We see the end of the road. He crashes. He flies out. Oh, the day saved. We got a Saint Bernard show up, and he's like, "Oh, stop fucking around and get the brandy.
Bring me the brandy."
5-star Hennessy.
Yeah.
To which Beethoven says, "You got it, sir."
Beethoven.
Cut to this iconic end scene. Bond and Tracy are getting married. Moneypenny's crying. The one who got away, you know. Tracy's dad goes and slips, you know, $1 million in pounds in his breast pocket, to which he takes it out and says, "Nah, she's worth more than the price of rubies." You know, he does the really nice scene where he throws the hat at Moneypenny, just saying, "You'll always be my girl, just not my girl." Q has like his only scene with Lazenby ever, and it's just him saying, "I think you're an idiot." They load up in their car. It's all full of flowers all over the place. They're driving away. We get those teenage kids honking, kind of alluding back to the very beginning of the movie, where we're looking in the rear view of the kids honking. They let him over. He makes the comment, "Oh, we look like we're in a flower ad." We'll pull over. We'll take these flowers off because, of course, we have all the time in the world. He's taking the flowers off. We see a car drive by, and we see Irma Bunt with the biggest gun I've ever seen. And Blofeld is driving in the silliest looking neck brace.
Neck brace, yeah.
They drive by, opens fire on the car. Lazenby says, "That's Blofeld. We gotta go." He gets in the car and he looks over, and Tracy's got a bullet hole in her head, dead. We get that really great shot of like the bullet hole in the windshield, mirrored with her perfectly on the other side of it. She kind of just falls into his lap.
And that should have been the end.
Originally it was supposed to end with them driving off, and then the beginning of Diamonds Are Forever was going to open with this scene.
But the whole talking to her, whispering sweet nothings into her lifeless body was like.
Also, that police officer has absolutely no sense of urgency.
No,
he drives up on his motorcycle. "Everything okay in here?"
Yes.
No, absolutely not.
She's just resting.
She's having a rest.
Ended right at the bullet hole. We get it. She's gone.
He hits us with the "she's having a rest. We'll be on soon. There's no hurry after all because we have all the time in the world." And that's when it cuts over, and we get that music. The music sting here is weird because it's doing the doom 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 doo doo, and then cut to so it's like really sad and sweet. Cut to the music sting. "James Bond will return in Diamonds Are Forever." I will say, speaking about how long this fucking movie is, at the time, this was the longest Bond film until Casino Royale.
Wow.
It is now the 4th longest, behind number 3, Casino Royale, number 2, Spectre, and number 1, No Time to Die. So Daniel Craig's movies, he did, 5? And they have no brevity. But I think also Quantum of Solace might be the shortest Bond movie ever made, so he's got both bookends. But let's talk about the elephant in the room here. This movie comes out. Lazenby wasn't necessarily difficult to work with, but him and Diana Rigg, it's reported, did not get along at all. She would purposely eat garlic before their love scenes because she just had wanted nothing to do with him. Lazenby, obviously, it was quite the difference between just being a male model to now just being for lack of a better term, a worldwide sex symbol is what James Bond is, especially back then. He couldn't go anywhere without being hounded by press, which is one of the reasons why Connery left after You Only Live Twice when they went to Japan, and he couldn't do anything. Yeah. The crowds were so insane. He grew his hair out super long and grew a full-on beard for the premiere, to which Albert Broccoli and Harry Saltzman took offense to. They felt like he was protesting because Bond is supposed to be we talked at the top.
Clean-shaven suit.
You are assigned, whatever suit you're wearing. Now, the Craig era is Tom Ford suits and Omega Rolex watches, is kind of so. Him showing up looking drabby, they took as a protest, and he was trying to sabotage the premiere. Whether that was his attitude going in or not is up to be debated. Obviously, Lazenby has 60 years worth of telling his own stories about how everything goes. He was pretty much just he's still, I guess, cashing in on his one Bond appearance by hooking up with gals to this day. That's his one thing. He had a friend who was very much involved in the late 60s, early 70s counterculture, who convinced him, hey, you signed a 7-picture deal. Bond is a fad, bro. Nobody in 10 years is going to care about James Bond. And you're just a corporate stooge, working for the man, to which he convinced him fully to say, you're right, I'm stepping away from Bond forever. And it was just one, and to this day, Lazenby said it's his only regret. He just got real bad advice. He's 29 years old. He's filming when it's 29. The movie comes out, he's 30. He's still relatively young, and he just got, bad advice. So he stepped away, and Broccoli and Saltzman were perfect. You were kind of a pill anyway. This kind of saves us. We touched a little bit last time about the Kevin McClory of it all, where he later got the rights to Thunderball, and he went on to make an unofficial Bond film, Never Say Never Again. Kevin McClory wanted Lazenby to be in Never Say Never Again, just kind of give him another shot, until they found out that Connery wanted to do it as a fuck you to the Broccoli family. So they were cool, we got Connery, he's the GOAT, right? So he ended up losing a role to Connery twice. They go back to Connery for Diamonds Are Forever, promise to pay him whatever he wants, and again, as a fuck you to the Broccolis, ended up donating his entire salary to charity. His salary for Diamonds Are Forever was the entire budget for the first movie, the $1 million. And we get Sean Connery back for one more film before he hangs it up for good. And we get our boy, Roger Moore.
Wow.
How do you feel about Lazenby? I know it's hard to judge. I'm sure this is probably the only thing anybody's seen him. I've seen him pop up in things, but as Bond, how do you feel about him? I know I'm a little low on him. If I'm being honest, I think he's my number 6. There has to be a bottom, and I think he is the bottom. It's hard to judge when you only have the one sample size, and you can't see what a Diamonds Are Forever would have been like with a Lazenby.
For sure. I gave him on a score of 1 to 10 a 5. To me, it was just average. I don't think he's as bad as everybody says or makes him out to be, but definitely not my favorite.
Would he be your lowest ranked Bond?
Yes.
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 Okay. What say you, Michael? How you feel?
I think that I gave him a 6, mostly in reference of my scope, because I've only revisited these 2. But I think that's the only reason why. after listening to you, obviously I come through, I'm like, well, it was a pretty good movie. And then listening to you guys pick it apart, I'm like, okay, I could see that and stuff. So yeah, I think wholesomely probably at a 6. So we'll see how it ranks when we go through all the other ones. But yeah.
I do find this movie very enjoyable. I feel like there's like a good 40 minutes you could just trim.
Yeah.
And then this would be like, if you make this the same length as Goldfinger, an hour 50.
Yeah.
You know, I think this could be a very solid film.
Yeah, I did see the 2-hour 20 mark when I was getting ready to watch it. I was like, ooh, but like, I don't know. Some of it goes by fast, and you do find the parts that you're like, okay, this could be trimmed. But yeah, overall, it's pretty engaging, I think. So yeah, it was good.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to discuss before we talk about what we're doing next time?
Yeah, nothing.
No, let's put Lazenby to bed.
Yeah, take him out to pasture. Look at the flowers. Well, next week, now that we are done with Lazenby, we move on to the Roger Moore era. This is the 3rd film in the Roger Moore chronology, and we are doing a my choice. This was my number 1 pick with the bullet. The Spy Who Loved Me. Very much looking forward to watching that. Is this one that you've seen, Michael?
A bit ago.
A bit ago.
Yeah, so basically no.
Gotcha. I meant to ask, obviously Lazenby only has the one and you haven't seen it. Was Lazenby the only Bond you had never seen? Have you seen?
The only one I had ever seen. I remember when I was younger, like my stepdad was really into all the 007 movies, and like they were all on this weird repeat on one of the channels on TV, so like they would always be up. So yeah, but this was the first one I had never seen him in.
Gotcha. We will be back next time with The Spy Who Loved Me for some Roger Moore action. What do you say we go ahead and cut, print, check the gate?
See you guys.
See ya.